Hello, and welcome to Tea with the Druid, number 200, brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. This is Philip Carr-Gomm here. It's lovely to be with you. It's lovely to see everybody piling into the forest clearing here from all over the world, from Mexico and St. Lucia and Bedfordshire and Glastonbury and South Germany and Crouch End and Canada. Lovely to see everybody. So I haven't done tea for 3 weeks now, and the reason for that has been that my mum has been preparing for what some people call the great adventure, moving on to the other world at the end of a long life. She's 98 now, and she's taking plenty of time to get ready for her journey, and she's still here, still in the nursing home where I go to see her every day, but she hasn't taken off quite yet. And so it's a difficult time. Strangely beautiful if that's the right, I don't know if beautiful is the right word, actually. Moving, strong, powerful, important. And for that reason, I haven't been able to, I'm just trying to think why I use the term beautiful. I don't know really, just in the sense that every life event, whether it's death or birth, there's a sort of awesomeness in it. I think that's what I mean, a kind of profound quality of awe and respect that one has for the process in a way. But she's still with us, and so over the last few weeks, Penny and Kerry and Roma have very kindly stepped in, and thank you to all three of you for having held the teas, served the tea, and poured it out while I haven't been here. And but today is the 200th celebration. It's a celebration of 200 episodes of Tea with a Druid. And so we're going to have a very special guest, and our guest is way ahead of me on the curve. He's the man who said to me some years ago, why don't we have a podcast for the Order? And I told him I didn't know what it was. When he explained what a podcast was, I told him that I didn't think many people would listen to it. And luckily I wasn't clairvoyant at the time, because 3 million people, or 3 million downloads have been made of the wonderful Druid cast that Dave the Bard started then. It was Dave the Bard who suggested Tea with a Druid, or Tea with Druids, as we also call it. A few years back, he mentioned live streaming video. I'd never heard of that either. I didn't think anybody would want to watch it. How wrong I was again, how right he was. So I'm going to hand over to Dave now. So a good friend, a wonderful colleague, a great person to work with, and a lovely Druid, and a very talented singer, songwriter, and musician. And so now, through the magic of technology, I will press a button, and let's have him. Where should we put him? Let's have him over here. Boop! There he is. There he is. Hello, Dave. How lovely to see you.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Philip. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's lovely to be here. Well, look, I can see all the comments streaming in, which is great. It's so good that you're going to, and I believe you're going to play us a new song, a completely new song.
I am indeed. Absolutely. That's
fantastic. So I'm going to press another button, disappear in a puff of smoke, and hand over to Dave. Thank you so much, Dave, and bye, everyone.
Well, hello, everybody. I have got Oscar by my feet here. Hey, lovely. I hope you can hear me all right and everything's good. 200 Tea with the Druids. What an amazing thing. Bye. All right, everyone's leaving. No, I know you're saying goodbye to Philip. You're not going, bye, Dave. Oh, it's Dave, I'm Goff, you know. So, yes, lovely to see so many people here. I am going to play you a brand new song. But first, what I would like to do is I would like to mark this time by doing a thing that I have done. Dave the Tea Fairy. Yes, I know you saw that one, right? Something I do in Glastonbury when we meet at the town hall. There's 200 people there. Hopefully we'll be back again next summer. And I step into the centre. And as part of my role as Pendragon, I am Keeper of the Order's Sword. And some of you are members of the Order and some of you may not be members of the Order. Some of you literally might be just interested in finding out what Druids do. So you come along and have a tea with us once a week. But as Pendragon, I am the Keeper of the Order's Sword. And here is the said sword here. Beautiful, beautiful sword. And I step into the centre of the circle of Druids and I draw the sword. And these words were, I heard them spoken, long time ago in Druid ritual. And I take the sword out here. So maybe if you want to, before I do this, maybe if you want to, and if you want to stop commenting or comment, do what you like really, but if you want to, just take a moment, step away from your computer or just take your fingers off the keyboards, just tune in together for the moment. And just imagine that we are all, wherever we are in the world, all standing together in one hall. Maybe a hall or maybe a forest clearing. It would have to be a very big forest clearing. But we are standing there together and I step into the centre of the circle. And I raise the sword. Behold this, our Order's sword, drawn from the lake of still meditation, and returned to it again, ever sharp and ever with us, should our lake be stilled. And then as I lower the sword, I start to point it around the circle. And as I begin the awen, so you join with me as we do 3 awens together. And as the sounds of the awen spread out across the forest, or from our hall, or wherever we were standing within your mind's eye, so may it bless every single one of us. So may it be. And now I'm going to play you a little song. And then I will talk a little bit. But for now, I'm going to play a song. By the way, you might not even know who the hell I am. So I'm Dave, by the way. And yes, I am the Order's Pendragon. And I'm a pagan druid folk musician. So this is what I tend to do, is play music. And this is a brand new song. And I have a complicated relationship with the autumn because I don't trust it. I don't trust the autumn because it means that winter's next, and I'm a summer child. Yeah, but I thought I can't really wish half my life away to get back to spring and summer, so I need to develop a relationship with the autumn. And I thought the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to write a song about the autumn equinox. And I know it's gone, but this is called Autumn Leaves. warmth of the summer has faded away. I watch the sun set from the shore, and the geese and the swallows promise that they will return as they sing and they soar. I watch as they fly to lands so wide and far, and the music of autumn is sung by the light of the stars. Lady, bring your wind and rain. The oak and the holly as equals meet again. Lady, bring your mist and storm. Can I hear your sigh in the corvid's cry as the autumn leaves begin to fall? The night's growing longer, the harvest is in. Furrows lay barren and bare. The hedgerow remembers a maiden of spring, dancing free white flowers in her hair. Now heavy with berries she sings by the light of the moon. Her bright song of summer has changed to autumn's tune. For lady, bring your wind and rain. The oak and the holly as equals meet again. Lady, bring your mist and storm. Can I hear your sigh in the corvid's cry as the autumn leaves begin to fall? Poor old Robin has nowhere to hide, and the wren will soon be king. Old Jack Frost at the window will smile, and the veil is getting thin. So lady, bring your wind and rain. The oak and the holly as equals meet again. Lady, bring your mist and storm. Can I hear your sigh in the corvid's cry as the autumn leaves begin to fall? I know, you don't know the words because it's brand new. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Autumn leaves. Yeah, life is quite creative right now. Thank you. Thank you. So I would like to talk to you and tell you about a ceremony that our grove did for the winter solstice in 2018, I believe it was. And I know that there are people, as I say, watching this who are members of the order. There are people watching this that are interested in Druidry. And there are people who are Druids who are not members of the order who watch the Tea with the Druid. But for people who wonder what Druids do at things like the winter solstice, I thought I'd tell you what we did. And then it might inspire you, or just whatever. I just hope it will be interesting for you. Our grove is the Anderida Grove of the Seven Hills, and the Seven Hills are 7 hill forts that surround us here in Sussex. We don't have big stone circles and stuff like here in Sussex, but we do have a lot of hill forts. And the 7 hill forts that the Grove took as part of their name, the Anderida Grove of the Seven Hills, was Mount Caburn, Hollingbury, Wolstonbury, Cissbury, Chanctonbury, Devil's Dyke, and Thundersbarrow. And when we were choosing the name and everything, I thought, let's plot that out and see what happens when you plot it out on an Ordnance Survey map. And I was amazed to see it makes a very rough, you've got to use your imagination, but it is a very rough, but it is a sort of pentagram with a central one and an eastern outlier, the central one being Thundersbarrow and the eastern outlier being Mount Caburn. And in 2018, we thought it would be an amazing thing as a grove it's gone through a number of incarnations of the Anderida Grove, but this one hadn't visited all 7 hills, so we thought we would go and visit all 7 of these hill forts, and we would take a year to do this. We would go there, we would hold ceremony at each of the hill forts in Sussex. Hill fort, you might even know what a hill fort is. A hill fort is an Iron Age camp settlement. It's ringed with a ditch where the palisade of fence used to be, and they sit on top of hills throughout Sussex. In fact, they're all throughout the country, but we've got a lot in Sussex. And so we wanted to go and visit each of the hill forts. My wife Kerry, she is an artist, and she made us 7 little coins of bronze. And on one side was the name Anderida Grove of the Seven Hills reduced to a sigil and made with magical intent. And on the other side of the coin was the shape of the 7 hills as they are on the Ordnance Survey map, but mapped as stars. And she made 7 of those. And what we did is we went off to one of the hills. We walked up to the top and we did ceremony. Yes, Oscar is under my feet. He's just licked my toes. We went up to the top of the hill, we cast our circle, we called the quarters, we did the Druids' prayer and the Awen, and then we took with us kind of biodegradable offerings. So, it could be beans or peas or a leaf or a flower or something like that, and one of these coins. And a lot of mead. We took some mead, so and we stood in the circle, and wherever we were, for instance, we went up Mount Caburn, we would walk the ridge of Mount Caburn and we would look to see if there was any point that we could see any of the other 6 hills, and that would give us an idea of where we needed to stand to see the other hills, and that will become apparent why that happened later on. And then we would go into the centre of the circle, we'd dig a little hole, only sort of, so deep, dig a little hole, and we would toast the direction of all of the other 6 hills, and we would toast to the ancestors and to the names of those hills. We would say each hill out loud, and then we would toast the ancestors of the hill we were standing upon, those who lived and worked within this fortification. And as each of us did it, we would pour a little bit into the hole, and then we would put our little biodegradable offering into the hole. And at the very end, we would then place the coin, and then we would bury it. And then we would walk away and thank the space, take our circle down, walk away and thank the space. And the next month we would go on to the next hill, and we would do the same thing until each of the hills we'd done these ceremonies. And I hope you can hear me okay. I'm a bit quiet when I talk. I'll turn myself up just a little bit. And eventually these coins were placed, and I will never forget the last hill we went to where we placed that last coin, and it was like suddenly this energy lines just flew out to all of the other hills around and just connected each one of them with this. It was like the culmination of ceremony of connecting these hills in a magical way. And okay, I will I will address an elephant in the room, and that is placing something in an archaeological site. And I know there are many people who will say, "Oh, that's terrible," and I will address that because so most of the stuff was biodegradable, but apart from this coin, which was bronze, a natural alloy that we put into the earth. At one point, we will be the ancestors. At one point in the future, so long as we don't do anything stupid, another 3,000 or 2,000 years will have passed, and we will be the ancient Druids. Right? We will be the ancient Druids. And I always think that sites like these, I love it that they are not simply monuments, that they are living, breathing places where people still love, even if it's just walking the dog or whatever. But even, going there to hold ceremony is a wonderful thing that keeps that timeline going. And I think the people who lived there would be amazed that the site that they built was still being honoured and respected thousands of years in the future. And at some point, if we don't do anything stupid, and there is an archaeological dig, however they do it in 2,000 years' time, it probably won't be with metal detectors. I don't know, they'll probably fly their spaceships over the top. But whatever it is, they'll fly over a little bit and it will go bing, and they'll dig it up and there'll be this 2,000-year-old coin placed there by ancient Druids who they know by this evidence that this place was still being used as a ritual site even 2,000 years after it was placed. And I like that. So I'm not a great fan of debris and leaving candles burning and wax and all things like that, but something like that I think is a good thing. And it just means the site is honoured and continues to be honoured. Now, those coins were placed, and then on the winter solstice, 21st of December 2018, friend of ours, member of the Grove, is very good at making torches, and he made us 7 6-foot high torches with a good wad of stuff on the top, which had been put into a flammable liquid, and we split off as a grove and we travelled on the night. We went up, I guess we left at about 5:30, because I think we needed to be there by 7, if I remember rightly, and we left at about 5:30, and of course it was dark. It was the darkest night of the year, and I think I'd got the best one because I'd chosen Thunder's Barrow Hill, which is the central point of this pentagram. And sorry, I'm getting put off by the comments. Don't look at the comments. And so people in the Grove went off to Devil's Dyke, Mount Caburn, and each one of the groups had one of these torches. And it was a night, myself, Billy, I know she watches these, she was with us, and Philip and Stephanie came with us. And we walked, it's a 40-minute walk through the downs to Thunder's Barrow Hill. And we went there and we stood in the dark. And of course, all around us, other Grove members were heading up to Caburn, Cissbury, Chanctonbury, Devil's Dyke, Wolstonbury, Hollingbury, Mount Caburn. And we looked over, I knew, because we'd gone up to Thundersbarrow Hill before, and I knew where the directions were of these other hill forts. And I looked over to where I knew Chanctonbury was, and we could see this torch in the distance, of somebody walking up the hill. And we were keeping in contact by text message for a little while. I know, because we're techno druids. And I said, "Are you walking up the hill?" And he said, "Yes." And then we looked over to Devil's Dyke and we could see this flashing light. And I said, "I can see a flashing light at Devil's Dyke." And what happened is that one of the people there, Frank, had put a torch on his head and was kind of doing, a lighthouse like that. And we could see his. So we knew that we could see at least two of these sites around us. Now the idea was that at the moment of the solstice, which was around about 7 o'clock, might have been 7:30. It was a few years ago, and I'm blonde, so I can't remember exactly. But it was at 7 or 7:30, the actual time of the solstice. Each one of us would light our torch, and we would raise it high above us. Now these hills are some of them were beacon hills. And that's how the communication would be sent throughout Sussex of invasions or things like that. So we just wondered whether or not when we lit those torches and raised them up, whether or not we would even see them. But it was a moment. 7 o'clock arrived. We did some Awens, we tuned in, and we lit that and we held it up, and then we saw a flicker of light over at Chanctonbury. We saw another flicker of light over at Cissbury. We saw another flicker of light where the lighthouse had gone on over at Devil's Dyke. Looked over, and it was incredible to see miles and miles between us being lit up at the moment of the winter solstice, a festival of lights, not just held within a room, but utilising the entire landscape that we had worked with throughout the year in ceremony, culminating in that point. And it was something else. It was an amazing thing to be part of. And of course you could feel the energy. We all returned back to our place after we had done everything and cleared up and shared our stories of what we could see, but it was just a sudden connection. Why did we do it? I think it was because it was the connection to the landscape. It was rootedness. That the grove is called the Anderida Grove of the Seven Hills. Anderida, whatever. Was the name of the ancient forest that used to go from Dover right the way to Southampton. Apparently, primordial forest that just went the whole way. And a squirrel could hop on the tree in Dover and it wouldn't touch the ground until it came down, and it had its own form of malaria called the ague, and no one would go there. And it's part of the reason Sussex was the last county to finally be to be Christianised. Let's put it that way. Yes. Why am I saying that? Yes, but it's all about the connection to the local landscape. And this is something I've noticed since the lockdown as well, and some of you may have noticed this too, is that before the lockdown I drove a lot of places. I got in the car a lot to drive to places, and then there was that point where you couldn't take your dog further than you could walk, and so I started to explore my square mile, and I went down to the harbour and I found a whole bank full of wildflowers and herbs and things, and it just, I think it's helped me to also, even now, enjoy the place where I live. So there you go. So that's what all of you lot need to do now at the winter solstice this year, okay? All right, so I'm going to play you another song, if that's all right. Yes, I think I've got time for another song. Let me play you this one here. Oh, I'm going to turn this down because I've turned it up. and it will peak. All right, always time for another song, absolutely. So if you do know this song, by all means sing along in text, in your comments. Love to hear Under the Trees. You want to hear Under the Trees? All right, well, there you go. You've got a request. I'll play you Under the Trees. That wasn't what I was going to play, but I will play it. So this is another new one. A lot of you won't know this, but driving home at night in the company of a storm. Endless tail lights, I'm sitting here alone. Another day gone by, where did they all go? Getting harder to justify a life on death row. I wanna go where I can heal my soul, talk to the wisest people I know, and I will go. The soothing sound of forest leaves and all my troubles start to ease. Forgive me, please, you will find me under the tree. When we are born, we are told you're part of a great machine, no chance of parole. But life is a miracle, this I know so well. It's time to turn the key of my prison cell. I wanna go where I can heal my soul, talk to the wisest people I know, and I will go. The soothing sound of forest leaves and all my troubles start to ease. Forgive me, please, you will find me under the tree. And I know that it's true, it's so much harder to do than to say. All that I can say to you is come and meet me there too. You know the way. Go on. I wanna go where I can heal my soul, talk to the wisest people I know, and I will go. The soothing sound of forest leaves and all my troubles start to ease. Forgive me, please. I wanna go where I can heal my soul, talk to the wisest people I know. I will go. The soothing sound of forest leaves and all my troubles start to ease. If you agree, come and join me under the tree. Oh, thank you very much. Well, I'm going well over time here.
Dave,
Hello.
that was so lovely. Thank you so much. That was absolutely brilliant. So good.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you so much. What a lovely way to celebrate the 200th episode.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I need to do more of these, Philip, don't I?
You do. You do. Yeah. You're definitely going to
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Lots of love to everybody, and see you at the next tea. Bye.